We are ready. I'm
All
good.
right. All right. Well, for anyone who is joining in tonight or today or tomorrow morning or whenever you happen to be joining, happy Pride. Thanks for stopping by. My name is Beth, and I have been active for more than a decade, I would say, with organizations like Promo and PFLAG and Free Mom Hugs and um, the Mama Bears, just basically every kind of ally type of group that I could affiliate myself with. And I'm going to be leading you through a gentle, probably 45-minute sequence of yoga. And all you need is a mat. You won't need any more props. And if I cue anything that doesn't feel comfortable to you or that seems out of your range of mobility, just take a few moments to breathe. If you're breathing and sitting up or lying down, you're doing yoga. So don't feel like you need to follow along if there are things that don't seem comfortable to you. Throughout the sequence, come to your edge and then back off a little bit as we transition from pose to pose. And if you have any questions, you can always pop them into the chat box and we will try to get those answered for you. So I'm going to make my way to my mat and you can do the same. The only prop you might want to have would be either a folded, like a throw, or a little toss pillow to sit on to elevate the hips a little bit higher than the knees. We'll begin in cross-legged easy pose as it's known in yoga, and for some people that's not very comfortable. Sitting up a little bit higher can sometimes help. So I'm going to hop onto my mat and we'll get started.
While Beth is getting started on her mat, I just want to welcome everybody. I'm Shira Berkowitz with Promo, Missouri's statewide LGBTQ equality organization. And this month we are reimagining the potential in celebrating, honoring, and taking action during Pride by showing up where you are. In this extraordinary time, we honor the need for moments to pause and turn inward, to appreciate our authenticity. And through Pride Online tonight, we join with Beth to reflect, to stretch, to take up space, and to rejuvenate.
Thank you. All right, so we will begin sitting up nice and tall, lifting through the crown of the head, relaxing the shoulders down away from the ears. Maybe lift the shoulders up and then just let them roll down comfortably. And imagine that there's little weights on your elbows, just really dragging the shoulders down. The hands are resting on the knees. They can be palms up to receive energy or palms down if you feel like you need more grounding this evening. And again, lifting up through the crown of the head, sitting nice and tall so that you're not collapsing through the spine. Allow the eyes to softly close or just lower the gaze. And begin to tune in to you. Take a few deep breaths in through the nose and maybe even sigh them out through the mouth. And then for the rest of the practice, where possible, we're going to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, as long as that's comfortable for you. So begin to focus on that breath, releasing any distractions in your mind, using the breath as an anchor throughout the practice to pull you back into the present moment. And just begin to observe your breath, making no judgments, but just noticing the qualities of the breath, whether it's fast or slow, smooth or a little bit ragged. And begin to soften through the face, relaxing that little spot between the eyes, unclenching the jaw. And scan the body, looking for any areas of tightness or anywhere you may be gripping. And see if you can soften there. Now begin to shape the breath by lengthening the inhalations and the exhalations, breathing a little more deeply, slowing down, dragging each breath out, feeling grounded on your mat. Maybe taking a moment here to set an intention or to dedicate your practice to someone who could use a little extra love today, keeping in mind that that person could be you. And now allow the chin to drift towards the chest and just let the head weigh heavy here. A couple of breaths. And on your next exhale, slowly roll the right ear over the right shoulder. And see if you can keep that left shoulder down. Breathing here a couple of times. And then again, lowering the chest, chin back to the chest. Inhale. And as you exhale, slowly roll the left ear over the left shoulder. See if you can keep that right shoulder down. And then drop the chin back to the chest. A couple of breaths, blinking the eyes open and looking up. Hands come to the knees. We're going to do a couple of seated cat-cows. So grip the knees and begin to pull the chest forward, arching the back and looking up. And then exhale, rounding, chin comes. Inhale, pull the chest forward, arch and look up. Exhale, rounding. Last time. Inhale, pulling the chin forward. And exhale, dropping the chin to the chest. And now coming back to a nice tall spine, hands are still on the knees. We're going to begin to circle the torso. These are Sufi grinds. And you're going to exhale as you round back and inhale as you come forward. Just warming up through the hips, the internal organs. Moving at your pace, syncing the movement to the breath. And now we'll reverse the direction. So take your circles the other way. Again, inhaling forward, exhaling as you round back. Two more times around, and then we're going to come up to a nice tall seated position. Hands come out to the side, and we're going to inhale the arms up, palms to touch, and we're going to bring the hands down through heart center, keeping the palms together, lower all the way down to the navel. If you can keep palms together that far. You may need to tent the fingers if that feels a little too intense on your inner wrist or forearm. Again, inhale, reaching the arms out, palms to touch. Draw the hands down through heart center. Keep lowering. This time, hold the hands there for just a moment or two, feeling that stretch. Last time, inhale, really growing through the torso. And then lowering the hands back down, all the way down towards the navel. Hang out there for a breath or two. And then send that prayer back up to the sky, reaching, and then drop the hands back behind your head. And begin to lengthen through the torso and start imagining that you're sending some energy out through your elbows up to the ceiling. Really lengthening here. And then inhale the hands back up. And we're going to fold forward. So just begin to hinge at the hips, allowing the hands to fall wherever they fall. And take a few deep breaths here, stretching all through the back, through the hips. And then begin to walk the fingertips back up, straightening through the spine. Right hand comes to the left knee. The left hand will plant behind you, almost like a little kickstand. Sitting up nice and tall, engage through your core. Really draw the navel in towards the spine. And then we're going to begin to twist to the left, looking over our left shoulder. Breathe here a couple of times, keeping in mind that we're still warming up, so you don't have to make this the deepest twist of the practice. And then unwinding through center, the left hand comes to the right knee and the right hand plants behind you as a kickstand. Again, sitting up nice and tall. Draw the navel to the spine to engage the core and begin to twist right, looking over the shoulder. 3 or 4 breaths here. And unwinding, coming back through center. Plant your right hand on the mat. Inhale the left arm up and begin to bend deeply to your right. Looking up if it honors your neck, otherwise looking straight ahead or down at the floor. See if you can keep that left hip down on the mat. Maybe pull that top shoulder back just a little, shining the heart forward. Couple more breaths here. And then pushing off, plant the left hand and we'll bend deeply to the left. Again, pulling that top shoulder back. Gaze anywhere that it's comfortable for your neck. Keeping the right hip down. Couple more breaths. And then coming back. Draw the hands back behind you and clasp the fingers and begin to draw the shoulder blades toward one another, broadening and expanding through the collarbone and the chest. And then just begin to pull the clasped hands a little further away from your back, feeling that big expansion here. And just breathe here a few times. This helps to correct our posture that we have most of the day, bending over our telephones and our keyboards. So just a breath or two here. And you can release the hands now. Maybe make a few loose circles or figure eights. Relaxing the wrists. And we're going to transition now to tabletop position. So coming into or onto all fours, transitioning slowly. The wrists should be directly under the shoulders, the knees directly under the hips. And just begin to drop the hips side to side, nice and slow, wagging your tail. You may feel a few pops there, either in the hip or the lower back. Being gentle here, and then coming back to a flat back. We'll do a few traditional cat-cows. So you're going to drop the belly, relax it down, arching the back and looking up. And then you're going to exhale, rounding through the shoulders. Chin comes toward the chest, coming into like a Halloween cat shape. And then inhale, drop the belly, arch the back and look up. Exhale, rounding, chin comes to the chest. We're going to do just a few more rounds of this, moving at your pace, syncing the breath to the movement and pausing anywhere that it feels especially nice. Just introducing some flexibility here in the spine. We'll do one more either way. The cow, and then moving into cat, and then coming back to a neutral spine. Inhale your right leg out and roll that foot, making little circles both directions. And then drop the toes down and push back through the heel, feeling a nice stretch all through the hamstrings, the calf muscles. You can pulse a little bit if that feels good, or just do one continuous stretch. And then set that knee down. Inhale the left leg out and make those same little circles, rolling the foot both directions. And then drop the toes down, pushing back through the heel. And then set the knee down. We're going to sink the hips back down towards the heels, coming into child's pose. The knees can be together or apart. Sometimes it feels a little more comfortable to have them open. It gives you more space for the chest and the belly. The forehead is coming down toward the mat. Arms are relaxed out in front of you. Take a few moments here, 3 or 4 deep breaths, checking in with yourself. Stretching through the back. There's also a nice gentle stretch for the knees and the front of the feet. And then begin to raise the head and torso just a bit. And we're going to walk the hands over to the left. So you're going off the mat. Keep that right hip down. See how this feels. If you want a little more, try stacking the right hand on top of the left. Just relax the head down. Breathing into that big expansion on the right side body. Feeling a little pinch on the left. Couple of breaths here. And then we'll slowly walk the hands back through center and way over to the right. Again, see if you can keep the left hip down. If you're looking for a little more, stack that left hand on top right. Relax the head and breathe deeply. And then we'll walk the hands back through center and come back into a tabletop position. Wrists under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Maybe drop the hips again, a time or two, side to side. Just releasing any tension you may be holding there. And then coming back to stillness, engaging through the core. Inhale the right leg out and the left arm comes up, bicep alongside the ear, coming into balance. Your gaze is straight down at the mat, really pushing down into that left foot, the top of that left foot, to help hold your balance. Remembering to breathe here. There's a tendency to want to hold your breath. Couple more breaths. The toes on that back foot are dialed straight down and you're pushing back through that back heel. Really reaching through the front fingertips, and we'll set those down. Roll that right wrist a little to release the tension, and preparing to take the other side. Inhale the left leg out, right arm comes up as a counterbalance, engaging through the core, gazing straight down, and really lengthening fingertips all the way out through the back of the heel. And using that right shin and upper foot to help you keep your balance. A few more breaths here. And set it down. Now we're going to come up for a toe stretch. So come up onto your knees. And make sure that all the toes are stretched out. And sit back with most of your weight on the heels. Now, if that's too intense for you, lean forward, come to your fingertips here. You'll still feel a nice stretch, but it won't be quite as intense as if you're bearing full weight on those heels. And just to have something to do to take our mind off of our toes, we're going to reach the arms way out wide, crossing right arm over left. Give yourself a big hug. Breathe here a couple of times, feeling a big expansion through the upper shoulders and the back. And then very slowly stretch the arms out wide, maybe even back behind you. And we're going to bring the left arm on top of the right and inch those fingers close together. Breathe a time or two here. And then we're going to come back into our table and tap those toes out, releasing the tension. That toe stretch is great for helping with plantar fasciitis or any other feet aches and pains. So we're going to do one more move here before we come off of our wrists. We're going to center the right hand under the face. And we're going to begin to reach our left arm up, just to your level of mobility. So you may not be able to reach very high. And then we're going to bring that left arm down and shoot it underneath the right arm. And you're coming down to rest on your left shoulder. Your right arm is reaching up for the top of the mat, and you can rest your cheek on the mat and just settle in here for a few breaths, stretching that left shoulder. The body weight coming down on that left shoulder is giving it a nice release. And then draw that right hand back up and push yourself back into your tabletop. And we'll transition here. Left hand comes directly below your face. And we'll reach to the right, sending those fingertips toward the ceiling. Again, just to your range of mobility. And then we're going to dip those right fingers underneath the left arm. Bit of a pretzel pose. Reaching with the left hand up to the top of the mat. Putting a little weight onto that right shoulder. Breathing here. And then bring the left hand back so that it's under the shoulders. Push yourself back up to the tabletop. We'll walk the hands about 2 handprints forward and drop the hips coming into a modified plank. So the core is really nice and engaged here. You're pushing the mat away with your hands. Gaze is down between the fingers. Stay here another breath or two. And then engage the toes. And we're going to lift the hips, coming into downward facing dog, making any adjustment you need with your hands and your feet. The head weighs heavy down between the arms. Again, the hips are lifting high. And you can pedal out through the feet, one heel at a time, reaching for the mat. Making sure to send some of the weight in your arms all the way out to the fingertips and pressing the chest toward the upper thighs. Couple of breaths here in your down dog. Maybe even making some slow circles with your head, both directions, or shaking it yes and no. And then looking forward a bit, begin to walk the hands back towards the feet, coming into a deep forward fold. Have as much bend in your knees here as you like. You want to try to get your belly right down there on your thighs. So even if you're pretty much into a little squat, that's okay. You want to get your head below the knees, below your heart, that sends a message to your brain that everything is calm, everything is okay. So hang here for a few more breaths. And then with your hands on the mat to stabilize you, heel toe the feet out to the edges of the mat. Hook the thumbs into the crooks of your elbows. We're coming in to Ragdoll here. Keep a softness in your knees as you begin to sway gently side to side or front to back. Allowing the weight of your head to just traction up the spine. Maybe closing your eyes here to connect back to you. Check back in with the breath. And then coming back to stillness, let the hands just fall down. And we'll heel toe the feet back in till they're about an inch or two apart. And with soft knees, we're going to roll up nice and slowly, restacking the spine. Almost as if you're coming up one vertebrae at a time. And then really roll the shoulder a couple of times, backwards, forwards. They say that motion is lotion, so in order to avoid a frozen shoulder, remember every day to do a couple of shoulder rolls. Now coming to the middle of your mat, I'm going to take a few moments here in mountain pose. So this is one of the most common standing poses in yoga. Begin to intentionally think about your feet and the connection that they're making to the mat, feeling very grounded, feeling very strong. The kneecaps are lifted, so you don't want to lock the knees out, but have the kneecaps engaged. Feel the front of the thighs begin to engage a bit. Shoulders relaxing down away from the ears and lifting up through the crown of the head. Breathe here a couple of times, closing the eyes if it's okay with your balance. Otherwise, just lowering the gaze, tuning out the distractions, using the breath as the anchor to pull you back into this moment. A couple more breaths here. Maybe checking back in with your intention if you set one at the beginning of practice. And now blinking the eyes open again. We're going to move into a balance pose. So we'll just do tree pose today. Shifting the weight to your right foot. You're going to use the left toes here as a kickstand, or you can bring the sole of that left foot to the right inner calf, or you can draw it all the way up to the inner thigh. Just try to avoid the knee. Bringing the hands to heart center. Establish your foundation, really focusing on that standing foot, and find a focal point, something on the floor, maybe 3 to 5 feet in front of you that isn't moving, and try to fix your gaze there. And then maybe begin to play around a little. Maybe you send your prayer up to the sky. See how that feels. Maybe you grow your branches out. If you fall out, just get back in. Balancing here. Focusing on the full exhale. Drawing that navel to the spine will help you keep your balance. Here for 2 more breaths, and see if you can set everything down with control, and then bend through the knees, releasing that tension. Roll the right ankle around a couple of times, and maybe even stretch that foot out behind you on the mat. Come back to you, come back to your mountain pose. And we're going to shift the weight to the left foot. And again, you can kickstand, this right foot here. You can also move next to a wall, or if you have a chair or something steady nearby, hang on to that, no shame. You can also bring the foot here to the inner calf or the upper thigh. And again, come into this position mindfully and slowly. Establish your drishti or your focal point. Really feeling the connection with that standing foot. And then again, take a few moments to play around. Have a little fun. Challenge the balance. Hopping right back in if you fall out. Sometimes you have much better balance on one side than another. And some days we just don't have any kind of balance whatsoever. Couple more breaths. And again, let's see if we can set everything down with control and then bend through those knees again. Make some little circles with that left ankle and foot. Stretching the foot out behind you. And come back to your mountain pose. Big inhale, side up the mouth. We're going to inhale the arms overhead, palms to touch. Little side bend to the right as you exhale. Inhale through center. Little side bend left. Inhale through center. Exhale right. Inhale center. Exhale left. Inhale through center one more time, either way. Exhale right. Inhale and exhale. Lower the hands, clasp them behind your back again, and we're going to pull down and a little bit out. Again, feeling some nice expansion through the shoulder blades and through the front of the chest. Just breathe in here a couple of times. And you can release. We'll do a few half sun salutations. These are called sun A's. So come back to your mountain pose. We'll inhale the arms overhead. We're going to exhale and swan dive down, hinging at the hips, coming into a forward fold. Inhale, come up, flat back, hands to the shins. This is called a half lift. Exhale, fold. Let the head weigh heavy. And with a little softness in your knees, we're coming back up to stand. The arms sweep out and up, and hands come back to heart center. And we'll do that 2 more times. Inhale the arms overhead, really reaching. Exhale, fold, hinging at the hips. Head weighs heavy here. Inhale, come up for your half lift. Nice flat back. Exhale, fold. A little softness in the knees. Push yourself back up to stand. And hands come back to heart center. Last time. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. And then come back to stand, arms sweeping out. Touch overhead and back to heart center. Now we'll move through one quick round of Warrior One before we make our way back down for a few relaxing stretches to round out the practice. So standing around the middle of your mat, step forward with your right foot and then work that left foot back. Your hips are going to be squared to the front of the mat. The back foot is at about a 45-degree angle, and you're going to bend deeply into that front knee. You want to be able to see your toes, so you might need to inch that foot forward a little bit. And once you feel like you're in a nice, steady foundation here, inhale the arms up, Shoulders relaxing down away from the ears. The gaze lifts. And just begin to settle into the pose, connecting back with your breath. Feeling a nice big stretch all through the torso, lifting up out of the hips. And being sure to send some weight to this back leg and especially to the outer edge of that back foot. You want to avoid having all of your weight here on this front knee. Couple more breaths. And now you can lower the arms, and we're going to join the back leg to the front. So you can either step it up in one big step, you can drag it, you can work your way up, whatever works for you. And then again, bending through the knees a little here to release the pressure. We're going to prepare to take the other side. You're going to step back with your right foot and begin to inch that front foot forward. Hips again squared to the front of the mat. Begin to sink into that front knee, bending deeply. Back foot is at a 45-degree angle, and when you're ready, inhale the arms up so that they're around biceps next to the ears. And if you have any issues with your shoulders, you can always bring your hands to heart center here for warrior one. Lift the gaze, settle in, come back to the breath. Two more breaths. And lower the hands. And again, we're going to join the back leg to the front. So step it or drag it up, whatever gives you the most balance. And then bend through the knees a bit. And we're going to make our way down to the mat for a few more relaxing stretches before we end the sequence. So coming to the middle of your mat, extend the legs out in front of you, sitting up nice and tall. Flex the feet. We're going to inhale the arms overhead and hinging at the hips, just begin to fold forward. Let the hands fall wherever they fall, maybe your shins, maybe the ankles, maybe you're really flexible and you can reach the bottoms of your feet. But allow the heart to keep shining forward. So we're trying to keep a relatively flat back here for a couple of breaths, giving those muscles along the backs of our legs a few moments to acclimate and to begin to lengthen and soften. So breathing into it here. Now, if you'd like, you can relax the head forward, rounding through the shoulders. You'll find that you'll bend nose a little closer to the knee, belly a little closer to the thighs. And then just see if you can soften and breathe into it here. 3 to 5 long breaths, keeping the feet flexed. Softening anywhere you can soften. And then we're going to very slowly come rolling up, restacking the spine. And then reach the hands behind you, fingertips facing you. So another big opening here through the chest, through the collarbone. Your shoulder blades are drawing together. This might be enough for you today. If you already feel like this is a pretty intense move, breathe here for a few moments. If you're looking for a little more, we're going to do a reverse plank. So on an inhale, you're going to lift the hips, head and neck stay in line with the spine. Most of the body weight is in the arms, so you're really strengthening the arms here. See if you can keep the hips lifted a few more breaths. And we'll lower down. And we're going to bring the soles of the feet together, coming into Cobblers Pose. It's got several names, butterfly. You can grab the ankles, or you can wrap your hands around your toes. If that's not comfortable for you, just keep the hands on the shins, sitting up nice and tall. Just let gravity begin to work. Just soften through the hips and the knees and allow the knees to relax down a little closer to the floor. Couple of breaths here. And then we're going to hinge forward again, coming into a little bit of a fold. Maybe even using the elbows as a gentle fulcrum on the inner calves, encouraging those knees to open just a little more. And if this is not comfortable for you, make your diamond a little bigger. Move the feet away from your groin and see, you'll still have the opening effect, but it's not quite as intense. So find the pose that works for you. And again, we're going to relax the head down, rounding through the shoulders, and take a few moments here to breathe deeply. We're going to very slowly roll back up, one vertebrae at a time. Help the knees back together. And make your way down onto your back, moving slowly. Knees are bent. Walk the heels up a little closer to the hips. We're going to do some flowing bridges. We'll start with just the arms. So inhale the arms overhead and exhale them back down, arms beside the body. Inhale and reach. Just opening through the shoulders here. Exhale, lower. Last time, inhale. And exhale, lower. Now this time we'll add the hips in. So inhale, lift the hips, raise the arms overhead. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift the hips, raise the arms, lower down. And last time, inhale and lift. And exhale, lower. Draw the knees up to the chest. Wrap the arms around the shins or have one hand on either knee and begin to gently rock side to side, massaging out that lower spine. Now the arms are going to come alongside the body. We're going to be coming into waterfall. This is a great pose. You can also do this one against the wall, and you can stay there. You can hang out for 10 or 15 minutes, just allowing the tired blood to drain from your feet and ankles and calves and recirculate through your system. Maybe begin here to point and flex the feet a couple of times. And then bring the feet to stillness, and we're going to lower the right leg really slowly. So engage your abs, lower all the way down to the floor, and then hug that left knee up towards the left shoulder. Give it a big squeeze. Couple of breaths here. Then your left arm will come out like a T to support you. You're going to use your right hand to guide that bent knee across your body, coming into a reclined twist, maybe making a little adjustment with the hip, and then just try to relax here into the twist, keeping both shoulders down on the mat. Your gaze can be at the ceiling, or you can lift the head just slightly and turn and gaze out over your left fingertips. So the gaze goes in the opposite direction as your bent knee. Just breathe here 3 or 4 times, scanning the body, looking for anywhere you're holding tension. See if you can relax. Very slowly roll onto your back again. And we're going to send the legs back up for another round of waterfall. So inhale the legs up. It's okay if the knees aren't completely straight. Just allow the legs to be lifted, engaging through the core. Back is flat on the mat right now. Soft through the shoulders. Try to relax in case you're gripping there. A few more breaths. And now we'll lower the left leg very, very slowly, working those abs all the way down. And then hug the right knee up to the right shoulder. Big squeeze. Couple of breaths there. This is wind relieving pose. Right arm comes out like a T, and you'll guide that bent knee across your body, making any little adjustment with the hip that you need to. And again, relaxing the shoulders, both of them down on the mat, looking straight ahead, lifting the head and gazing out over the right fingertips. Stay here for 3 to 5 long breaths. And rolling now onto your back side again. Draw the knees back up. Another big squeeze. Rock and roll a little bit here, massaging out that lower spine again. We're going to reach for the outer edges of the feet, coming into happy baby. The soles of the feet are shining up to the ceiling. Pulling gently, encouraging the knees a little closer to the floor. Softening through the hips, let it go. And again, start to rock here, side to side, challenging the balance a bit, strengthening the core. And then release the legs. We've just got one here before Savasana. Moving in banana pose. Inhale the arms overhead if that's okay with your shoulders. Big stretch. Fingertips to the wall behind you, toes to the wall in front of you. See if you can grow an inch here. And then we're going to walk the heels. Just start stepping the heels over towards the lower left corner of your mat. And then move your head and shoulders a little bit towards the upper left corner. So this should feel really nice. If it feels uncomfortable, back out of it a little bit. And then just allow the arms to soften, allow the legs to soften. So you're in just a bit of a crescent shape here. And if you'd like a little more, you can cross your right ankle over your left. That intensifies the angle of the curve just a bit. Just take a few deep breaths here, feeling a big expansion on the right side body. Breathing deeply. And then if your ankle is crossed, go ahead and uncross it. And we'll work our way back to the center of the mat, or the middle of the mat. And then start walking the heels over to the lower right corner and lift the head and shoulders, working them up to the upper right corner. Again, and you can feel the expansion happening here on the side body, but with comfort. And then crossing that left ankle over the right if you're looking for a little more. 4 deep breaths here, total relaxation. And then very slowly scoot yourself back to the middle of your mat. The arms come down alongside the body. Preparing for Savasana, the final resting pose. Walk the heels out a little wider than the hips and allow the toes to just fall open naturally. Lift the head and lengthen a bit through the neck, and then set the head back down. Close the eyes. Come back to your anchor. Come back to the breath, bringing you back to this present moment. Softening through the face. Relaxing the jaw. Scanning the body, looking for any remaining tension. See if you can soften there. And then just give yourself permission to rest here for a minute or two, or 5 or 10, whatever feels right for you. Allowing your body a few moments to integrate the benefits of the practice. Relaxing through the shoulders and the arms. Softening through the spine. And just letting the hips and the legs weigh heavy. And again, you can stay there in Shavasana as long as you like. If you're ready to conclude the practice, you can roll onto your right side, coming into a fetal position with the legs bent. Take a few more resting breaths there. Thanking yourself for showing up on the mat tonight. Finding some gratitude for your body, for the opportunity to breathe and move. And when you're ready, pushing yourself back up into a seated position. And taking just a few moments again to find some gratitude for this beautiful day, for the opportunity to breathe and move and stretch and take up space and create space. Wishing you peace in your mind, strength in your body, and love in your heart. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. I wish you the best and hope to see you again sometime on your mat. Namaste. Thank you.